and welcome. I'm Harriet Agbini. Tonight, residents of Kalabage local government count their losses from the airstrikes that hit Ran settlement as Chief of Army Staff visits community. Students of Osun State University take to the streets of Osogbo to protest the shooting of colleagues. The police vow to ensure justice is done. Children allegedly trafficked from Bauchi State sent back home on the orders of a magistrate. And massive anti-Trump protests in Washington, D.C. and cities across the world as women send message to the U.S. president on their rights. And on business news tonight, countdown to first Monetary Policy Committee rate-setting meeting holding on January the 23rd and the 24th. On sports news tonight, Rivers Angels emerged champions of the Nigeria Women Premier League for a fifth time. We begin tonight in northeast Nigeria, where the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has given the assurance that the wrong airstrike in Ran, Borno State would not be repeated. Lieutenant General Buratai gave this assurance while on a visit to the area with officers of 3 Battalion and some government officials. Meanwhile, the death toll in the airstrike appears to have risen, as officials of Kalabage local government have put the figure at 236. Kalabage is one out of the 20 local government councils in Borno State overrun by Boko Haram militants in the height of the insurgency in northeastern Nigeria. 8 months ago, the Nigerian troops alongside the multinational Joint Task Force liberated the area, rescuing thousands of hostages abducted by Boko Haram and opening up the Council for Humanitarian Services. But on January the 17th, the operations by the Nigeria Air Force in the fight against the Boko Haram militants went awry. A fighter jet mistakenly bombed an internally displaced people's camp in Ran, believing it was a Boko Haram campground. Days after the incident, the High Command of the Nigerian Army, led by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, and some officers from the 3 Battalion, visit the village to assess the situation there. While the military convoy moves on the ground, another military helicopter was seen flying over the area to ensure security and the safe movement of the visiting military team. The villagers and the army chief pray for the protection of the people and the country. The army chief also commends the villagers for supporting the troops.
We are also affected from this unfortunate incident. Really unfortunate, and it's a very big mistake, and we've all learned a lesson from it, and we will take note of this. The issue of coordination and passage of the right information at the right time, which will help in preventing such incident to happen again.
General Buratai speaks on the recoveries made by the troops.
About 5 o'clock, sometime to 6 yesterday, they came to attack them here. So they were able to repel them. So this is to show the level of alertness the troops have, and the level of commitment for them to defend this community. Luckily, when they came, they couldn't succeed, but the troops were able to repel them and pursue them far. And you saw what they recovered. One of them alive was captured, their vehicle and the area of weapons and ammunition that have been recovered from the Boko Haram terrorists.
The chairman of the council wants the federal government to compensate them for their huge loss.
We are begging Mr. President to compensate. Many people have lost their lives. Maybe some of them, most of them are the breadwinners. About 234 people. It's not a small number. We need to compensate these people.
The visit of the army chief and his assurance of continued collaboration will go a long way in calming frayed nerves in this troubled community. But of greater importance at this time may be to help the people in any way necessary to ease their pains. Meanwhile, residents of Madagali have held an emergency meeting aimed at guarding against the recurrence of the suicide attacks on their communities. At the meeting held in Gulak, the administrative headquarters of Madagali local government area of Adamawa State, the chairman pleaded for more synergy among security personnel. Disturbed by the wanton destruction of lives and property as a result of recent terror attacks in Madagali, the chairman of the local government summons an emergency meeting with security agencies, traditional rulers, vigilante and other associations. Curtailing the infiltration of suicide bombers into their communities is top on the agenda.
The influence of these boys are coming towards Madagali local government, trying some of them to either escape towards Mandara Mountain, and we people of Madagali local government are at the receiving end. So that's why we have resolved with our traditional leader that everybody should be security conscious. We will not leave the security to the other security personnel. But however, whatever is happening, if we identify a person that is not from this local government, we should report it directly to the military.
The leader of the vigilantes enumerates some of the factors militating against their operation and the ongoing war against insurgency, while the traditional rulers also share their views on the situation.
You know that we are using Dengon and double barrel. We need cartridges and barudos to work with it, and we need assistance from government to help us with the transport our people where we can go and work and so on.
Our immediate problem now is we want the influence of the NGOs. We used to have so many problems, especially in Maiduguri and the rest, but they are trooping to Maiduguri. We have the same challenges with Maiduguri, but they are trooping to Maiduguri. But here in Madagali, especially my domain, only Red Cross and the presence of Neri that we have seen.
What we were suspecting before is not what we saw, because they were dressed like town people, not like Boko Haram that we have been experiencing. They put even these dyes, they wear good clothes. It was by surprise as they came in like that.
Earlier, the chairman of the local government had visited Michika General Hospital to sympathize with victims of the last suicide attack and appealed to government to provide a hospital in Madagali.
We have very big challenges. Everybody here can testify to you. We don't have hospital, one single functional hospital in Madagali local government. We don't have water in Madagali local government. Even food, it's just of recent that we started getting food.
He equally visited the Kirichiga community to settle a prolonged crisis between the vigilante and the community. With the meeting over, parties are expectant that with the strategies put in place, there will be an end to the series of suicide attacks by Boko Haram terrorists and the local government. A chaotic scene in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, where some students of the state university today let out their anger over alleged police assault and brutality. The incident followed the shooting of two of their colleagues by the police. The irate students blocked the highways, burning tires, leaving commuters stranded for hours. The commissioner of police in the state, who confirmed the shooting of the two students, said the police officers involved have been apprehended.
We've been on these issues since last year with the Commissioner of Police, and we've met like a few times so that there will be a cordial relationship between the students and the police. But we were very surprised to hear that they came this morning to attack the students. So I think the students were very, very unaware of their coming, and the police used force in obtaining some of their properties, and even two of them were shot.
That is the allegation, and whenever an allegation is made, it is incumbent on the police to investigate. And I want to let you know that investigation has commenced in earnest. So people should strive to be law-abiding. If they have any complaint against anything being done by the police, they should please let us know. And I want to assure members of the public that if any such report comes to us, we're surely going to investigate. For instance, in this matter, the people who are suspected to have gone to that place have been apprehended and they are already in detention. And at the end of the proceedings, the outcome will be made known to the public. I want to let members of the public know that we are not in the habits of covering evil, not minding whosoever is involved.
Staying with security matters, police commands across the country are taking up the challenge of using new strategies to combat crime. Arrests have been on the increase in many states, with parades of individuals suspected to be involved in armed robbery, kidnapping and other vices. This next report takes a look at the situation in Bayelsa, Kwara and Abia states.
AIG Abubakar Mohammed arrived in the Bayelsa State Police Command in South Nigeria as he begins a tour of commands in the zone. He inspects a guard of honor mounted for him, after which he goes into an interactive session with officers and men of the command to address a nagging problem. According to the AIG, the increasing cases of suicide among the rank and file of the force necessitated this visit.
The level of suicide within the police is getting high. Police officers are killing themselves without the hierarchy knowing what their problems are.
He then orders the commissioners of police as well as senior officers in the zone to relate closely with their subordinates as a way of stopping the trend. But this female officer thinks this might be counterproductive.
When we go to special duties, we cannot be paid, and when we talk, they make personally me, they slap me. My ex will slap me. I went to my TPS here.
Responding, the AIG condemned the act and orders an investigation.
Come and see the CP. I want the CP to investigate that and give you a report. Because nobody has the right to take those issues
In Kwara State, north-central Nigeria, the police say they've arrested 2 suspects for allegedly raping and killing a 60-year-old woman.
The sad thing is that one of them raped a 60-year-old woman before he killed her. For you to see how wicked and the evil going on in some people's mind. From what was recovered, we were able to get the receiver and arrest 2 of those principal suspects. 2 others are still at large.
And in Abia State, the police command has reiterated its readiness to sustain the fight against crime by improving on the existing security strategies.
We are going to practice reassurance policing. It is part of the reassurance policing that you give us information and we use information, we utilize it to combat the crime.
Police commands across the country have strengthened their resolve to lower the numbers when it comes to crime reporting. The police believe positive statistics mean safety of lives and property is firmly in place.
In part 2, after the break, a woman arrested in Abia State for allegedly changing the expiry dates of products. We have details in a moment. Please join us again.